Tonight I'm going to talk to you about this book, Can't Hurt Me, although you can see the picture on the screen. So instead of going through the book and talking about key points, I am going to read quotes from the book that I gathered. So let's start with this one. The dirty mirror that you see every day is going to tell you the truth every time. So why are you still lying to yourself? It's time to come eyeball to eyeball with yourself and get raw and real. So by this he means face the ugly side of yourself. Look into that mirror, not a literal mirror, but look into that mirror of your soul and come face to face with who you really are underneath. All right, let's move on to the next one. Nobody likes to hear the hard truth. Individually and as a culture, we avoid what we need to hear most. Tell the truth about the real reasons for your limitations, and you will turn that negativity into jet fuel. Those odds stacked against you will become a damn runway. So you need to face the bad side of yourself. And this relates to the first quote about the dirty mirror. Here's another one. There is no more time to waste. Hours and days evaporate like creeks in the desert. That's why it's okay to be cruel to yourself as long as you realize you're doing it to become better. So there's no time to waste, obviously. You want to use your time wisely. And he talks about being cruel to yourself. I don't know about that so much. I mean, from what I've read about him, especially in his books, is that he is hard on himself. But I don't recommend personally going that far. I mean, you know, he's had leg surgeries, knee surgeries, and other parts of his legs from really what I think just overdoing it. He goes beyond the limit. And I think, you know, it's okay to back off occasionally. You don't have to be like David Goggins. He's one of a kind. So just do what works for you and don't kill yourself in a process. Try to enjoy the process. That's just my take on it. Whatever your goal, you'll need to hold yourself accountable for the small steps it will take to get there. Self-improvement takes dedication and self-discipline. This is true. Even in my own life, I'm trying to not eat so much chocolate. And I have cut back considerably. Even though I exercise quite a bit, I still want to cut back. And I feel as if it's necessary. But the self-discipline part gets me sometimes. And he says, answers are buried in suffering. Now, there's different types of suffering. His type of suffering is like literally suffering, torturing himself, basically. But there are other types of suffering. You know, me, personally, cutting back on chocolate is a form of suffering. Now, it's not to the extreme that he goes to when he injures his legs and still continues to run X number of miles per day. That's a different type of suffering. And I think this type of suffering is relative to your situation. In a society where mediocrity is too often standard and too often rewarded, there is intense fascination with men who detest mediocrity, who refuse to transcend traditionally recognized human capabilities. This guy, he's mediocrity right there. And there's plenty of those type of guys around. Um, it depends on what you are exceptional at, I think. I see too many people online saying that, unless you earn $100,000 a year, you're not a man, or you're not a man if you can't do 1,000 push-ups a day or something. You know what I mean? It all depends on you and your situation. If a person weighs 300 pounds and they lose 100, I think that makes the person exceptional. They're actually doing something to raise their standards. This guy might be exceptional at something. It's hard to say. All right, go outside your comfort zone on a regular basis. Make your weaknesses your strength. The more often you get uncomfortable, the stronger you'll become. And soon you'll develop a more productive, can-do dialogue with yourself in stressful situations. Yeah, they say, psychiatrists, people like that say, if you are uncomfortable driving over bridges, then you need to drive over that bridge. You need to talk to them first or whatever, however you handle it. But you need to do what makes you uncomfortable. It's just a necessary growth process. Next one. Everything in life is a mind game. Whenever we get swept under by life's dramas, large and small, we are forgetting that no matter how bad the pain gets, no matter how harrowing the torture, all bad things end. This is true. I had a lot of dental work done over the summer. And by when I say work, I had a filling, and I had to get this perio cleaning stuff done, and that was not easy. But it ended, while I was getting it done, it didn't seem like it's going to end, and then I kept having to go back and forth to the dentist and stuff. But, I have to get one more filling done. But after that, I'm done for a while until I get some cleaning. But every bad thing comes to an end. It just does, after a while. Know why you're in the fight to stay in the fight. Smile at pain. The ticket to victory often comes down to bringing your very best when you feel your worst. Look at these two guys fighting. So, smile at pain. That's kind of difficult. I tried to do that. I was in a lot of pain this summer before I had the perio cleaning. And I wasn't smiling. But I did become victorious because I went through what I needed to go through. I was afraid. I was nervous. I didn't like the shots that I had to get. I had to get a lot of shots. I was afraid. I was really just afraid of fainting or something like that. But that never happened. So I faced my fears. You can too. Sometimes the unexpected descends like chaos. And without warning, even the bravest among us must be ready to take on risks and tasks that seem beyond our capabilities. When my dad died a few years ago, that was unexpected. I mean, I knew he was going to eventually, especially the condition he was in, but I thought maybe he had a little longer. But it descended like chaos, and it was pretty bad for a while there. So, those types of situations bring out something in each of us. It makes us stronger, I think. Life experience, especially negative experiences, help callous the mind. Leaning on your calloused mind in the heat of battle can shift your thinking. Remembering what you've been through and how that has strengthened your mindset can lift you out of a negative brain loop and help you bypass those weak 1-second impulses to give in. So yeah, let's see, no picture. Yeah, he talks about the calloused mind quite a bit in this book. Callousing your mind, making it so strong that you can handle the pain. You can handle whatever life throws at you. And life will throw things at you, no matter who you are. So he wants the reader to strengthen their mindset. Lift themselves out of the negative loop that they're in. And a lot of people are in a negative loop. I find myself in a negative loop. Seriously. I get these thoughts in my head and they just keep looping but you don't want to self-destruct. And that's what he's talking about here. You want to bypass those weak 1-second impulses to give in. That's what some people do. They snap and then they go out and they do something really, really bad. It's not necessary. Just really in 1 second. That's all it takes to completely alter your life for the worst. And for the best too. Everything is based on decisions. So you don't want to give in to those negative impulses. You can tolerate doubt as a backseat driver, but if you put doubt in the pilot's seat, defeat is guaranteed. Remembering that you've been through difficulties before and have always survived to fight again shifts the conversation in your mind. It will allow you to control and manage doubt and keep you focused on taking each and every step necessary to achieve the task at hand. You want to be in the driver's seat. You don't want doubt or fear or petty gossip. You don't want that to take control. That's basically what he's talking about. All right. The reason it's important to push hardest when you want to quit the most is because it helps you callous your mind. It's the same reason why you have to do your best when you are the least motivated. And if you think about it, marriage, let's say, I've never been married, but if I were, I would consider that, there are times when you're not going to really like your spouse. But you weather the storm, unless it's something really bad, unless you cheated or something like that. If it's just a day-to-day kind of thing where you're just not in a good mood and you just don't want to be around anybody, you don't want to be around her, you still love the person and you still care about them and you're not motivated to be around them, but you don't do something stupid, that you'll regret. And you want to push your hardest when you want to quit, like if you're thinking of divorce or something, you just push through it. That's really all he's saying. And it's not just about marriage and love and all that stuff. It's all types of situations in life. To develop an armored mind, a mindset so calloused and hard that it becomes bulletproof, you need to go to the source of all your fears and insecurities. Again, he's talking about facing fears and insecurities and pushing through, The engine in a rocket ship does not fire without a small spark first. We all need small sparks, small accomplishments in our lives to fuel the big ones. Utilize past successes to fuel you to new and bigger ones. We need to spark a bunch of small fires to become the inferno. This is true. You need small victories. And if you don't have a lot of them, create them. Do something. And it can be the smallest thing. It doesn't have to be a huge victory. Those little victories will mount up, Like, let's say like my chocolate issue. Let's say I could go one day a week without it. Just one. I haven't done that yet. But let's just say one. That's a victory. In my opinion, that's a big victory. But if I could go without maybe ice cream for a week, let's say I just eat it once a week, that's a victory. Or let's say that you are a runner and you ran 5 miles, a week ago, and you ran 5.5 today. That's a victory. You see, they don't have to be huge. They're just small sparks that lead to this inferno. The human body can withstand and accomplish a lot more than most of us think possible. And that all begins and ends in the mind. This is true. There's a lot that we can handle that we don't think we can handle. Like dehydration, let's say. People are carrying around water bottles and stuff. I do it. I have one right here. But our bodies can handle going without water for a certain amount of time. Not forever and not a long time, but it can handle going without water. I've seen those movies or those TV shows, How Did I Survive or however that goes. And these people are without food and water for a long time. And yet they still made it. So we are capable of a lot more than we think we are. I've learned that it's only when I push beyond pain and suffering, past my perceived limitations, that I'm capable of accomplishing more physically and mentally. Yeah, this is another thing, pushing beyond the pain. And his pain is different than probably somebody else's pain. Pain comes in all shapes and sizes. So he's pushing beyond pain because he wants to run a marathon. And his legs are messed up from running previous marathons, And that's what he is talking about here. Or, his days in the Navy SEALs. But, mental pain, let's say. Let's just say that you're having a hard time concentrating. So you want to push beyond that. You just want to shut everything down and then focus on this thing, this book or whatever you're trying to accomplish. You see how it goes? The human body is like a stock car. We may look different on the outside, but under the hood, we all have huge reservoirs of potential and a governor impeding us from reaching our maximum velocity. Our governor is buried deep in our minds, intertwined with our very identity. Unlike the governor of an engine, ours can't stop unless we agree to let it allow us to quit. So this governor he's talking about is the little voice that tells you, I don't think you can do it, or it's so early and it's cold outside, you don't need to go out and run, or your muscles are sore, just take a day off, you don't need to work out today. That's the governor. My dad used to be that type of governor. He'd be like, oh, don't overdo it or something like that. I don't think it was because he cared or anything like that. I just think he just wanted to see somebody else quit. And he quit everything anyway. So, but anyway, that governor is someone you don't really want to listen to. Although it can protect you at times. I'm saying, I'm not telling you to quit, but I'm just saying it can protect you at times if you are doing something that might potentially be dangerous. Most of us give up when we've only given around 40% of our maximum effort. The only way to move beyond your 40% is to callous your mind day after day, which means you'll have to chase pain like it's your damn job. And this is his 40% rule. Yeah, chasing pain, not something everybody would like to do or has on their plan for the day. But like I've said, there's different types of pain. But now, over the summer, when I was experiencing tooth pain and stuff like that, I worked out extra hard just to relieve some of the stress I was going through. And I really went at it, you know, and I hurt a couple parts of my legs. I hurt my knee and I hurt my calf muscle. So, I overdid it. I didn't listen to my governor. like he was saying, don't listen to the governor. And I didn't. And I wound up injuring myself. I didn't have to get any surgery or anything like that. I just backed off a little bit. The 40% rule can be applied to everything we do, because in life, almost nothing will turn out exactly as we hope. There are always challenges, and we will all be tempted to give up on our goals and dreams and sell our own happiness short at some point, because we will feel empty, like we have no more to give, when we haven't tapped even half of the treasure buried in our minds, hearts, and souls. A lot of people, like he's saying, they give up around the 40% mark, when really we haven't even tapped into that other half. There's more, you know? So go beyond what you think you can do. Just go beyond the beyond. And once you get past that, then go beyond some more. All right. Over a period of time, your tolerance for mental and physical suffering will have expanded, because you can take a hell of a lot more than one punch. And if you stay with any task that is trying to beat you down, you will reap rewards. I did something. I have started something recently in the past 2 weeks. I started doing 500 push-ups a week. So, this is every other day. Like, let's say Monday, I do 250. Wednesday, I do 100. Friday, 250. Saturday, another 100. So it equals 500. And for some people, that's not a lot. But for me, right now, that is. And it takes a little bit of mental and physical suffering, because sometimes I think in my own mind, like, why am I doing this? What's the point? But at the same time, I want to do it. But my mind sometimes tells me, you don't need to. That's that governor. But I don't really listen to it, because if I'm set on something, I just keep going. Of course, it's easy to be open-minded when you leave yoga class or are taking a stroll by the beach. But when you're suffering, keeping an open mind is hard work. That's true. Keeping an open mind while you're suffering is difficult. I suffered all summer. And trying to keep an open mind, I think he's talking about making lofty goals, after you're feeling really good after yoga class, or you had a glass of wine, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this thing. It's really easy to say that, but you got to back it up with hard work. It's not easy. In every failure, there's something to be gained, even if it's only practice for the next test you'll have to take, because the next test is coming. That's a guarantee. You're going to fail, and you're going to be tested. That's just a part of life. But you have to get back up and keep moving, because there's going to be another test after that, and another test. Try to rake up the small victories. Everyone can achieve feats they once thought impossible. In order to do that, we must change our minds, be willing to scrap our identity, and make the extra effort to always find more in order to become more. We must remove our governor. So he's going back to the governor again. But we have to challenge ourselves within our own capabilities. So what maybe I thought was impossible before, like the 500 push-up thing, I had to work at it. I started doing about 450, for a while, and I thought, I'm going to just go all the way and do the 500. Now, when I was doing the 450, I really didn't think it was possible, to be honest. I didn't think it was possible to do the 500. But I did it, and I've done it twice already. So it's not impossible. Most of us are motivated to do anything to pursue our dreams until those around us remind us of the danger, the downside, our own limitations, and all the people before us that didn't make it. These same people will talk you out of your dreams, and your governor will help them do it. Yeah, there's a lot of negativity around. That's the mediocrity thing. There's so many people who have goals or something, and they don't work at it. They just quit. It's easy to lead a safe life, and when somebody else is doing something that maybe they wanted to do or they don't think is possible, they'll try to talk that other person out of it, because everybody likes to have mediocre people around them. It's easier that way, right? There's nobody to compete with, nobody to feel shameful about because they're doing something and you're not. It's easier that way. He says to accept the following. You will be made fun of. You will feel insecure. You may not be the best all the time. You may be the only black, white, Asian, Latino, female, male, gay, lesbian, and fill in the blank in any given situation. There will be times when you feel alone. He talks about this a lot in the book too. He was made fun of quite a bit and called racial slurs, and so many things happened to this guy. He was beaten by his father, and a lot of things happened to him. It made him who he is. But all these things will happen to us, especially if we are pursuing some type of dream that maybe others don't believe in or think we can do. Let's see how far along I am. Okay. Catalog your weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Don't ignore them. Be prepared for them. Spend time visualizing every obstacle you can. Visualize the worst that could happen. And I did that with my dental visits. I visualized the worst possible scenarios that could happen. And when I got there, it wasn't really that big a deal, Now, here's why I talk about the dental thing, because I had not been to the dentist in many years. But I took care of my teeth. I've used the water flosser. I floss. I use a very powerful electric toothbrush. I have a couple of those. So I've taken care of my teeth. It's just, I got to the point where, I needed something done, some cleaning done, and that's all. But it was a challenge for me. And I did this. I spent time visualizing every obstacle that could possibly happen. And none of it happened. Push past your normal stopping point, whether you are running on a treadmill or doing a set of push-ups. Get to the point where you are so tired and in pain that your mind is begging you to stop. Then push just 5 to 10% further. Now, I don't recommend this if you have like a heart condition or something. I don't know. It depends on who you are and what you're capable of. But don't kill yourself, just because he says to do this. I agree with him to some extent, but I'm the type of person who likes to gradually get somewhere. I don't want to kill myself, and I want to have fun with it. Life is one big mind game. The only person you are playing against is yourself. If you want to master the mind, you'll have to become addicted to hard work. Yeah, that's true. Life is one big mind game. We play the mind game with ourselves, and others play the mind game with us. Yeah, life is a big, giant mind game. And not to mention, I don't know if you believe this, but the spiritual forces that, are around us. I know it may sound crazy, but I'm just saying. Analyze your schedule, kill your empty habits, and see what's left. List your prioritized tasks every hour of the day. Compartmentalize your day. How long are your meal breaks? When do you exercise, watch TV, or chat with friends? I think I read somewhere, and I don't know if it was in this book, but billionaires tend to do this. They have their whole day mapped out. I can't say that's true for every billionaire. I'm sure not every one of them are like this. But I think that this is something you don't really have to write down a lot of this, because you're probably going to eat at regular intervals, so I don't even know if a lot of this is necessary to write down, I mean, you could if you wanted to. Don't let setbacks shatter your focus or detours to dictate your mindset. Always be ready to adjust, recalibrate, and stay after it to become better. I think my eyes are getting tired from reading the screen for so long. It's been like 32 minutes according to my recorder. Well, anyway, don't let setbacks shatter your focus. There's going to be setbacks in life, and you just want to get back up, You want to get back up. Like he talks about in Rocky 1, where Rocky's been hit with an uppercut from Apollo Creed. He's down. And Mickey, his trainer, says, stay down, stay down, stay down. And Rocky just won't stay down. This little setback, it's not going to keep him down. He's climbing up the ropes. He's doing whatever it takes because he has to go the distance. And I don't know if that's a perfect example of this, but it's just an example. When it's time to rest, actually rest. No checking email or social media. If you're going to work hard, you must also rest your brain. I know he said that in a book, but from what I've seen of David Goggins and what I've read in his books and stuff, it doesn't seem like he rests that often, unless he's getting a surgery or something. He might rest then, I guess. I don't know for how long, but yeah, you need to rest. Rest is very important. Get your sleep, get your sun, get your vitamin D, and so forth. No matter who you are, life will present you with opportunities where you can prove to be uncommon. If you truly want to become uncommon amongst the uncommon, it will require sustaining greatness for a long period of time. In the book Winning by Tim Grover, he talks about this type of thing. To be uncommon, like Michael Jordan, let's say, you have to keep winning and you have to perform at a certain level all the time. You have to always be striving for greatness. Even if you are great, you have to strive for more greatness and more greatness. And you have to do the uncommon to be uncommon. All right. A true leader stays exhausted, abhors arrogance, and never looks down on the weakest link. He fights for his men and leads by example. This would be, I think, a true alpha male leader is one who can do even the smallest tasks, who is exhausted at times, who doesn't like arrogance and never looks down on the smallest guy or girl in the group. You empower people, you inspire people. Starting at zero is a mindset that says my refrigerator is never full and it never will be. We can always become stronger and more agile mentally and physically. You always have to find more. Greatness is not something that if you meet it once, it stays with you forever. Again, this is like a Tim Grover concept, There's never enough. And you always start at zero. Because no matter what you did before, it might have been great, you have to start over. You have to start at zero. You have to start over again. and move forward. You see, most wars are won or lost in our own heads. Control your mindset. Dominate your thought process. Like this. Control your mind. To exist in this world, we must contend with humiliation, broken dreams, sadness, and loss. That's just nature. Each specific life comes with its own personalized portion of pain. It's coming for you, you can't stop it, and you know it. This harkens back to what he was talking about earlier with humiliation, being made fun of. These things will happen in life. You have to have this callous mind so that you are prepared for it. And I believe that's it. So I hope this video helped you. Like I said, instead of going through the book and talking about his life and so forth, I just decided to take these quotes and make this video for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.